Well, all right. Hello, and welcome to Motivation to Momentum. Again, acknowledging that motivation is just that spark. The momentum is what we need because there is an H in it. So, today's content, today's philosophy, today's idea is believe it is possible. We must believe it is possible. We have to have that positive expectancy, right? The opportunity is available, and we need to understand, to own, to believe that it is absolutely possible. Now, this belief is so powerful because Henry Ford, great man, said, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, either way, you are right. So we must believe that it is possible. That is the first opportunity to transmute possibility into probability, is first the belief that something can happen. But there's really two things that get in our way, right? It's our thoughts, right? And these thoughts become things, and they get in the way, don't they? These thoughts get in the way. And one of the thoughts that come up as a question is it's the fear of the unknown. And oftentimes it's that, well, what's it going to take? How am I going to get there? Right? The tyranny of how. Oftentimes we don't even start taking action until we know how we're going to take action. And already we're creating a challenge for ourselves if that is the case. If we're so focused on how and not why, and it's another conversation for another time. Or if we're thinking like, well, how am I going to make ends meet in the meantime, like within that gap? And while that is an important distinction, we do need now money, right? We'll get that. But we also need to release how we think it's going to happen. First, we need to believe that it is possible. And then the second thought that gets in our way is the what you think you know that just ain't so. Right? That stinking thinking. Oftentimes we can get locked into a story about what we think we know. Like, what is going to get in the way? What is the story that we tell? What is the story that other people tell that we're getting sucked into? Now, today, in today's economy and all the craziness that's going on today, it is really easy to go down a trap, to go down the rabbit hole of negative possibility. Well, what if this happens? What if the economy does that? What if this? What if that? And this is not helping. This is stinking thinking. So Napoleon Hill, as you may remember or not, wrote that book, Think and Grow Rich. And if you have not read it, I suggest you go out and get it. And if you have, I suggest you read it again. Tony Robbins, my mentor, a good friend. For all of you, if you're watching this, you're probably well aware of Tony. Shared a story one time where he had his mentor, and Tony's goal was to amass massive amounts of abundance. And this mentor of his, this new coach of his, suggested to Tony, or asked Tony if he'd read Think and Grow Rich. And Tony's response was, well, yeah, of course I have. And the coach's response was, how many times? So it may be instructive to review some of these great books that we have had access to and have read, because we also don't want to go down that path of I know that, right? The three worst words in the English language that cut us off from all growth, all expansion is I know that. And what happens when we say I know that? We cut off all growth, all opportunities for expansion. So Napoleon Hill had this very profound statement, this quote of his, and it said, you can be anything you want to be if only you believe with sufficient conviction and act according to your faith. Faith is a belief, isn't it? For whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So what we really need to do is first create that vision of possibility. Now, when you're at events with me and you participate in any of the experiences that we're running, we go through a process where we transmute possibility into probability through active visualization, through creating and owning and tying to bigger picture, to emotions, to your spiritual highest calling, to your aspirations. And this is certainly a powerful experience. But if we don't have the possibility at first, we don't even believe it's possible, we are now stuck. So take a moment and think about what do you want to accomplish, and own and be really aware and conscious of, do you believe that it's possible? Whatever it is, do you actually believe, do you own its possibility, that it's not just a pipe dream, it's not just a someday or one day or wouldn't it be nice? No, it is a belief, a conviction that you know it is possible. Now, if you ever, just a little hint here, if you ever run into a situation where you're thinking, oh, that's not possible, ask this question. Has anyone accomplished the outcome that you are pondering? Has anyone accomplished it? Because here's a presupposition in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. If you're not familiar with it, look into it. I can share information on that. I train and certify people in the science of NLP and certifying NLP. But there's a presupposition in NLP that essentially says if one person has done it, anyone can do it. You can learn from those masters. You can learn from someone. You can model someone's success formula. So, as some meditative affirmations, incantations, here are some suggestions. Right? I am releasing beliefs and negative statements that limit me and creating new positive statements that tell me my ideal future is possible, right? So I'm releasing beliefs and negative statements that limit me and creating new positive statements that tell me my ideal future is possible. I choose to believe things are possible even when I don't know how they will happen. Purpose over process, right? Let's not get locked into the tyranny of how. I choose to believe that things are possible even when I don't know how they will happen. And then lastly, I'm working toward fulfilling my goals every day, and I easily move past those times when my expectations are not met. So God's delays are not necessarily or ever God's denials. Once you believe something is possible, then you start taking action in faith, in that belief that it's possible and that belief that it will happen at some point. And if you read any biography or watch any biography, A&E biographies, are a whole bunch of great ones on right now. Like the ones on the wrestling were fantastic. Watch the A&E, I believe, or the History Channel, the men that created America, the food that created America, the cars that created America. When you unpack those stories, when you learn about what it took, the first step was belief that it was possible. So it's that fun play on words, the impossible or I'm possible. And next time we'll be discussing that, the I'm possible. So with that being said, I appreciate you. I love you for who you are and who you aren't. We'd love to connect with you more. Man, if surrounding yourself with incredible people is your outcome, if you understand the value of the company you keep is who you become, that the five people you spend the most time around are the people you also become, you pick up their habits, then reach out to me. Let's talk about maybe the mentor mind is right for you. The mentor mind is an opportunity to surround yourself with brilliance, to unleash your genius, to be having access to those minds, to also provide that feedback, get some trainings, get the the insights from people who have accomplished even more. And I'm sure by now you recognize that the more you hang out with people who their normal is what you aspire to, the greater your results will be. So we'll see you soon. God bless, and see you next time. Take care.